Hey, it's Bethany. So I decided to come out to two more coworkers this morning. I texted, well, no, I made the decision to tell one and it ended up being two. So I had texted the one I was planning on telling on my drive in, and I said, I have something to tell you. I have something to confide in you. And she didn't say anything. But the second I got in there and sat down, she rolls her little chair over and she was like, "Are you pregnant?" And I'm like, "No. Like, I have 3 kids. No, I'm not. Like, we're absolutely done." And she's like, "Did you get a new job?" And I'm like, "No." And she's like, "Okay, just tell me already. I can't stand it." And I was like, and she had asked me when I first started wearing my closure to work, I knew it was going to come off as this like drastic thing, and I would be getting questions because I had had my hair up the entire time I had been working there, and obviously it was going to be a huge drastic change. So, I was prepared for the questions, and she actually, you know, first day I came in with this closure on, she was like, "Did you dye your hair? It looks darker." Now, granted, yeah, it probably looks like that, but it's exactly the same color as my natural hair. This is my hair. This is the closure. Literally exactly the same. But with wearing my hair up for 2 decades almost, I have these like the baby hairs that I have broken off from pulling it back for so long that, from the sun had been highlighted to almost a blonde, if not, it's just a real light brown, which is very different to this. So when I had my hair back, the front pieces looked really light. So she thought, I had just dyed my hair, which is fine. And I didn't lie, like, no, I didn't dye my hair. And I also said, you're used to seeing me with my hair pulled back where you can see the sun highlights in the front. So I didn't lie. I just didn't tell her the whole truth. And at this point, I was prepared to do that. So she comes scooting over in her little chair and she was like, asking me all these questions. And I was like, finally, I'm like, okay, listen, I lied to you, but not really, but I did. No, I didn't dye my hair. And then she was like, did you get extensions? And I'm like, fair question. Kind of did. This is what I have now. I'm wearing helper hair. This is a closure. This, this is not all my real hair. And she was like, wow. Okay then, that's interesting. And I told her a little bit about Trichotillomania, and I even showed her this picture on my phone because we're at our desks. Like, I'm not gonna just like whip it off in front of everybody. Like, I mean, obviously, no one can see my desk, but if somebody walked over, there was no way I'm just gonna like whip it off right there. So I showed her this picture. Right? As well as this of the top. And she was like, whoa, I would have never known. And I was like, thank you. That means it looks natural. And she was so supportive, and she was like, I'm so honored that you have this much trust in me. And I was like, yeah, of course. Like, this is, I'm on my road to recovery, and it's a journey, and this is part of it, is telling people. And I honestly feel like the more people I open up to, the better I feel about it. And after that, I'm just like, I'm feeling so relieved. I'm feeling so free. And I'm like, I'm going to tell somebody else. So this other coworker, who's also a friend of mine, like the one I had just told, wears hair too. But and the only reason I know this is because she's got a different hairdo every day. Hold on. Hubby's texting me, so he doesn't come up here and interrupt us. So, I know she wears hair. She's always got a cool, different style going every day. Always gorgeous. So jealous of her. And she just rocks it like it's nobody's business, you know? And she's in a different department, so I'm not as close to her as I am the lovely friend that I just had shared with. But I also knew that it would be it would be taken really well by her because she's there already. You know, she already wears hair, and rocks it like a boss. So I'm like, all right, I just told this one coworker, I'm gonna tell this other one. And I was like, all right, I got like 10 minutes before this meeting. Like, can I make it to the far bathroom and back by then? Because I want to just like do it all, right? So I messaged her and I was like, I need to confide in you. You know, just let me know when you have an opportunity to walk with me down to the opposite end of the building bathroom, right? And she just comes like speed walking over to my desk and she's like, what is it, Bethany? Like, what do you need to tell me? And I was like, hold on, girlfriend. We need to take a walk. And so I drag her all the way across to the other side of the building. Oh, I got something in my eye. And the whole time she's like, what's going on? Like, why won't you just tell me? And I'm like, I will. Just give me a minute. Like, I'm not saying anything yet for dramatic effect. And, you know, on the way there, I'm like, you ever heard of Trichotillomania? And she's like, no, because nobody's heard of it unless they have it. You know, it's more common than you'd think, but it's just taboo, I guess you should say. Unless you have it, like nobody knows about it. So that's why I was like, I'll just ask her. She probably has no idea. It's fine. So, and I'm like, let's hope there's nobody in this far bathroom, right? We walk in, 2 of the stalls are closed, the big one's open, and I'm just like, all right, well, I'm just gonna speed walk into this one, hope she follows me. So she does. She shuts the stall door, and we're just like huddled in here together, real close and intimate, and it's fine. Whatever. And she's like, and we're whispering because there's people here, and I don't know any of them, but I'm still not gonna like blurt anything out. And she's like, what's going on? And literally, as I reach up and start unclipping, I'm not even joking, this is her reaction. She's like the second I reached up and started unclipping, she could hear the snaps, right? She's like, her jaw dropped to the floor. She had bug eyes. Like, literally, she had no idea, you guys. So, and I get to the last one. And she's just like, what? And she's like, originally, she was like concerned for me. She was like, how did this happen? And I was like, well, I mean, this has been happening. And we're whispering, mind you, in the stall. I was like, this has been happening for 18 years. And I, you know, like kind of mouthed to her exactly what it was and emailed her after the fact. But, and and I like, I wanted to, because previous to me just showing up all of a sudden at work with hair, right? I had always worn it up. So I was like, here, hold this for a second. Just like put it in her hand real quick, right? And I was like, do you remember like a month or so ago when I had it up all the time? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, well, this is why. All of a sudden now I have a closure or a helper hair. And she was like, oh my God, I had no idea. And I was like, I know, right? And so we had just like this an emotional little moment, right? And it was quite nice. And she was like, I'm gonna cry. And she didn't. I was like, I'm gonna cry too. And so finally, like, took it back, put it back in, and we're walking back to our desks. And she was like, well, what made you want to tell me? And I was like, you just always have this gorgeous, beautiful hair every day, and I knew that you would understand. I knew that you wouldn't judge me, and that I can confide in you. And she was like, wow, thank you for telling me. And I was like, thank you for hearing me out. Thank you for being here for me. And so we just stopped in the middle of the hallway and we hugged. And it was like one of those, like, it was a good hug. And at that point, I started crying. She got a little choked up and I was crying. I literally had to stop her before we got to the doors for our office. And I was like, am I okay? And she was like, and she just looked at me and she said, you're beautiful. Just kept walking. And I was like, yep, I needed that today. And she texted me shortly after that and said, this is my number. You call me whenever you need to talk. I don't care what time it is, day or night. You call me. I am here for you if you just need to chat. And I was like, thank you. I need that. And then I got an email a little bit after that, and she was like, girl, I just had to go to the bathroom and cry a little bit more. And I was like, no, you did not. She did, though. And, honestly, I think I needed that cry today. I really did. And that has, both of these lovely ladies today just being so accepting and supportive of me. It gives something to you. And now I want to tell more people, because the more people that don't know, the more restricting you feel. So I guess now my goal is to tell as many people as I can and have the amount of people that don't know just shrink and shrink and shrink until it's nobody, until everybody knows. Get that restriction out of my life. That's my goal. It's going to take forever. But I think if I just tell one person at a time, it will be a life changer for me. Since it's now mid-March, since Christmas, when I started this journey, everything that has happened to me since then has changed my life. And it's just like every little thing I am doing going forward has changed my life. And I'm just going to keep pushing forward. I'm not going to stop until I'm free of this, until I am just 100%, my life has been changed, like completely. And it's taking baby steps. Still feels like a life changer for me. So today was a great day. Tearful in a good way. So yeah, It was a good day.